Good morning. It's 10:37 a.m. on August 5th, 2021. First of all, I'm just going to acknowledge that I received a phone call and I have delayed trying to take that phone call. Why? Because it's important. Because I was preparing to do something and I rarely receive phone calls, and I did. But I'm going to add some information that is important for contextualization of events that are ongoing, specifically in regards to circumstances that seem to have correlated in July of 2015. It came to my attention some time ago that a number of events were occurring in late April through early July of 2015 that are not unrelated and that had profound international significance. First of all, there was a report, at least that was available online. Information concerning this was available online up through the end of 2019, that there had been a major hack that had occurred regarding the foreign ministry of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and that in the course of this hack of the foreign ministry of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that information was given to the Islamic Republic of Iran. It was alleged that it had been acquired by and made available to the Islamic Republic of Iran via individuals involved with armed struggle in Yemen, and identified at the time as Houthi, that were facilitating the information that had been acquired through nefarious means from the Foreign Ministry of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and had been made available to the Islamic Republic of Iran. This is notable because the understanding is that at that time, in the state of Illinois, charges were being prepared to be brought against Representative Dennis Hastert, and that there had been an actual encounter of him while he was actually actively in performance of official duties at a time frame when he was in performance of official duties, informing him that there were charges pending against him, specifically regarding inappropriate sexual behavior involving minor children, specifically young boys. And these events were happening at the same time, and I contend they are not unrelated. Not only do I contend that they are not unrelated, but there is also a situation that occurred at that time where, at least according to reports that are available now, that have been consistent for several years, former Delaware Attorney General Beau Biden was entered into the hospital on May 20th. He was reported as having died 10 days later. Now, the fact that he was in the hospital for exactly 10 days and then ended up dying is very notable in and of itself. But what is also notable is that within the last 2 years, I found information that at the time he was entered into the hospital, that there was a situation ongoing in Afghanistan where a major military contract for a specific kind of facility, that was a unique facility, had been canceled. That it had been canceled around the time, if not the actual date of the alleged illness overtaking the Delaware Attorney General, and that the terms and conditions regarding the cancellation of that contract had a profound impact. I contend that the cancellation of that contract was a form of offloading of assets that had been used in connection with events in Afghanistan and weren't meant to be made immediately available, but were rather a part of some sort of longer term outlay process. And that has actually come to bear in another manner and on another level within the last 2 years within the United States. Now, I am not going to reveal much more information about that at this time, except to say that while Attorney General Biden was in office, he had mounted a case that I believe is absolutely materially relevant and that may even have provided for the motive. Because I contend that his medical illness was not just an illness. I contend it was actually an act of murder. That he was actually targeted with directed energy weapons with the intent of it being fatal. And that in the meantime, there was to be a period of time while he was to be on site at a hospital receiving alleged medical treatment in order to maximize the intention behind his murder and what it was meant to be involved with. I say this because that specific lawsuit had a specific set of terms connected to it. It identified a banking establishment that had been very significantly implicated during the 2008 banking bailout, but has a very significant history, including right here in the state of Texas, including in regards to its relationship to mergers and acquisitions of other banks, including a Texas bank and a New York bank, that I contend are part of a longer term policy, including one that was outlaid during the 1980s, that is at the heart of what we're dealing with right now. Not only that, but the specific elements of that case, I contend, were also involved in informations that have been more recently available, including in connection with infrastructure projects that were anticipated and expected to be undertaken in connection with the nation of Honduras, and how that relates to actions that have happened within the last 2 years specific to the city of Chicago, that there is a direct and demonstrable correlation. And as a matter of fact, the materially misrepresentative information about me right now online, I contend provides evidence to that effect. That there is information about me and my intercession with a project that was meant to involve a partnership in another country that predated these actions has been intentionally characterized in the way it has been now as leverage in connection with a program that was started at the Delaware Attorney General's office and that has formed a basis upon which other illegal activities have happened, specifically when it comes to end of life care or it comes to treatment of seniors. So these are all elements of an already ongoing investigation that I understand are absolutely directly connected. It may seem on one level to be amorphous or unrelated, but it's actually not. It's actually part of premeditated and consistently applied schemes that thus far, because of the lack of appropriate intercession, has not been allowed to be de-escalated, but is in the course of being de-escalated. I just want to say, if it's true that on August 1st of this year, there was an award posthumously of a medal for Attorney General Biden's service when he was in the Army Reserve, or he was called to active duty concerning Kosovo, I have to say that I think that this is a very concerning matter and that we need to be very mindful of what the implications are, especially in the next 5 days.